Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Episode 44 deals with the events of Monday, August 13th, 2018. 2 years ago today, in the Chris Watts case, you had this really grim scenario playing out. But while it was playing out, people were afraid to face the truth. I think Nicole Atkinson in particular didn't want to believe that the man standing next to her in the Watts home had done what she feared he had done. As many of you are now aware, in every episode there have been quite a number of pictures on the sort of cover photo dealing with each episode number. And because True Crime Rocket Science is such an authentic voice, I want to be as authentic as we can possibly be about this day, Monday, August 13th. And I can't think of a more authentic approach, because I want you to come to this review with the necessary gravitas. I don't want you to be entertained. I don't want you to be titillated or anything like that. I want you to bear in mind that there were people in that house that are now dead, and they are dead forever. And I can't think of a more explicit way of communicating that than to say that on all of the days you've dealt with so far, 40, going back from number 1 to 43, there are pictures of children, there are pictures of family members, there are pictures of people playing on trampolines, people swimming, people all over the place. Arizona, North Carolina, the great sand dunes and so on. And then suddenly, just in terms of the pictures, the visuals, they change. And so when we're talking about pictures of what happened to the, do we have any pictures of Shanann or the children on the 13th? And the answer is, there are no pictures of the children, but there are some grainy visuals of Shanann arriving home late at night, very early in the morning. And if you ask, okay, so what is it like to be someone involved in MLM? Well, this is the answer. You go on trips, sometimes by yourself, you return home late at night, you're up early the next morning, you're working hard. You spend weekends working. And in this case, Shanann arrives home, right? And those are the last images we see of Shanann. And what I want to impress on you is that, in terms of the timeline, it is trying to show the chronological flow. I'm talking about in these little cards that you see dealing with each day, showing what happened on those days based on little pictures. Well, those pictures of Shanann now stop. There are no more pictures of her because Shanann doesn't exist anymore. Shanann has died. And I think there's this misperception that when you see Shanann in a Facebook video, or in a video, or saying something, or photo, that she's sort of come back and she's alive as she is in the photo, but she isn't. There are now no more photos of Shanann because Shanann doesn't exist anymore. No more selfies, no more meals. She's not going to have a baby. She's not going to enjoy the rest of the summer. She's not going to have a gender reveal. She's not going to Aspen. She's not going to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner on the 13th. She's not going to wake up after a night's sleep or go to sleep ever again. She's not going to have dreams. She's not going to see her family, and they're never going to see her again. In terms of the little girls, they are not going to go to school ever again. They're not going to attend a proper school. They're not going to have boyfriends. They're not going to have homework. They're not going to eat ice cream. They're not going to swim in a swimming pool. They're not going to wear dresses and go shopping and have another Christmas in their lives. It's over. And that is the kind of gravitas I want you guys to appreciate, is that this isn't just a story. Those lives did end. And it's shocking to contemplate, but it's also important to pause and just say, okay, so this is the moment that happened. And then transfer our attention to Chris Watts and say, why did you do this? Why did you do this to these people? The other issue we've got to attend to is to say, what actually happened here? Because if you go by the phone data review, that Ring doorbell footage isn't in the phone data review. And by that I mean, there's a entry in the phone data review referring to the Vivint video monitor. But it doesn't say anything about what she's wearing. There's no screen grab of the particular moment, even though it's a critical moment. It's just not in the phone data review. And yet it's such a crucial, it's the last moments we see Shanann alive. The other aspect that's not in the phone data review, for better or for worse, is the now infamous video footage from the Trinastich camera. And the phone data review refers at 0548 to Watts left the home with the bodies of his family piled in the backseat of his truck. That's what the phone data review says. With the bodies of his family. In other words, the phone data review is implying that everyone had died. And I think we can all agree that there was some doubt about that. That when you looked really closely to the video, and upon reflection, you would be, it would not be remiss to kind of say, are we seeing something here? What is actually going on? What is he loading? Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but there was a creator who sort of gave himself the credit saying he found this and he brought it to the attention of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and because of this, because he gave them this information, they went to Chris Watts at Dodge County and said, okay, can you let us know what you saw? Well, my understanding is when Chris Watts confessed the first time, in other words, the confession that's on record, he said that Shanann killed the children. That was his first confession. When he did the plea deal, which came as a surprise to a lot of people, he admitted that he had killed them, but now he hadn't given them a scenario. Where, when, how, why. And so that is why they went back to Dodge County, to get the proper confession. And part of that was also saying, well, can you explain this thing in the video? What's kind of turned the question back at the time, and I know we're jumping ahead of the timeline, but he turned the question back to Coda, and he said, well, wasn't there a video? And Coda said, well, it's not clear. Isn't that your answer? Something is going on in the video, but it's not clear what it is. So what is going on?